We are on kickoff day. Nobody thought we were going to get here. Can't believe that they've all bought in and not had any positive COVID tests over whatever for however long it has been.
Yeah.
The testing process, the practice, the training camp, everybody has kind of bought in. And the mantra is it's going to take all of us. There's been a lot of photos on social media by players, I assume, that has been given to them by their teams or the NFL. Like, hey, it's going to take all of us. We got to buy in. They've been able to do that. Here we are on opening day. And the best thing to do whenever a season starts is predict immediately what the last page is going to look like. So, AJ, since we are a big sports show, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about our Super Bowl winners and who will be playing in the Super Bowl. AJ, I would like you to go first. Who will be representing the AFC, which is the American Football Conference, against the NFC, which is the National Football Conference, in the Super Bowl that will be taking place in Tampa Bay, which is a city in Florida, and it's on the water.
So I went back and forth on this thing a million times when you told me we were going to be picking our Super Bowl winners right now on the day of
Sports
the NFL kickoff.
Yeah, makes sense.
I tried to talk myself out of the Kansas City Chiefs, Pat. I really did, because I know that's the easy pick. Everyone says, well, yeah, look at the Chiefs. They're loaded on paper. Patrick Mahomes, man, whatever. They should be good to go. But you know what? I'm sticking with them. I'm taking the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. Okay. That is definitely my AFC pick. I just can't see anyone taking them out unless someone like Patrick Mahomes goes down and he's unable to play the second half of the season.
Why would you do that?
That's the only way
Don't
I
even
see
say it.
something going wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Easy.
Are you wishing COVID or an injury on Patrick Mahomes?
Easy.
Not at all. I'm saying if he can stay healthy, if he's not hurt.
Calm down.
All right.
Just like every other team in the NFL that has a franchise quarterback. If your franchise quarterback is healthy, you have a chance to win.
Okay, and who's in the NFC? Who's representing the NFC in the Super Bowl?
The NFC, this may surprise you a little bit, but throughout my research, what I was doing, I just can't get off the Dallas Cowboys.
Bad boy, AJ.
Big Mike!
Again, I have to make a pick because I'm doing this show with you. But yeah, I'm taking Cowboys versus Chiefs.
Is this obligatory cowboy talk from AJ Hawk? Thank you for that.
Look at him, huh?
Thank you for us doing that. What made you think that the Cowboys are going to make the Super Bowl? What made you decide that? Is that because their team is stacked? Is it because you like their schedule? Is it because the NFC East is a clusterfuck? What is exactly the reasoning for why you think the Dallas Cowboys will represent the NFC over the 49ers, over the Saints, over the Buccaneers, over a lot of teams that are packed to the gills with talent as well? What makes you think the Dallas Cowboys, who are perpetual average football teams, what makes you think they're going to take it over the hump and make it to the Super Bowl? I'm excited for this. This is going to do well on the internet, so I like that a lot.
Well, I think Dak Prescott obviously is primed to have a hell of a year. I think DeMarcus Lawrence is there. Bradley and they brought in another guy that can rush the passer. Oh, by the way, Aldon Smith, this dude who was an absolute monster for a while. If they can get any kind of production out of Aldon Smith.
Aldon Smith, center?
Gigantic, yeah. Aldon Smith is listed as a starter right now for the Dallas Cowboys. I've watched that guy firsthand, what he could do when he was with the Niners. Like, the guy is an absolute monster. I don't know what he's like now. I'm sure he's still pretty damn good. Yeah. And, you know, with Zeke, they brought in CeeDee Lamb, too, at the receiver position. I just feel like they're stacked, and I understand the Cowboys have had one of the most talented rosters in the NFL for multiple times where they didn't make a run in the playoffs, and they really, I guess, underachieved. But I feel like McCarthy has whatever it takes. He's taken the reins a little bit. He and Jerry seem to be in sync, and I feel like the Cowboys can get it done.
When was the last time Aldon Smith played?
It's like 4 years.
4 or 5 years ago.
2016, I believe. 2015.
Oh, my Lord. Because he ran into some problems right off the field.
He was an all-pro, though. Correct?
But the life he was living off the field, if we know anything, the fact that he was able to play the way he was playing on the field while also doing whatever he was doing off the field, if he's focused in at all and still has any left in the tank, good for the Dallas Cowboys. And I do believe that Big Mike, Coach Mike McCarthy, who has the resume to have success and has gotten teams to places that they haven't been before, I think it's a good match made in heaven. I'm not going to go with the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC. For me, I'm going with, are we doing it on paper? Yeah, we're doing it on paper. You know why we're doing it on paper? Because we haven't seen a fucking thing from anybody. So I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers who represent the NFC. How you doing? Keep it moving. They got Tom Brady, obviously. They got Bruce Arians, who's a guy who has won a Super Bowl before. He's been there, done that with everything. Clyde Christensen, great quarterback coach, will be able to keep that team together. Tom Moore's down there with his wealth of knowledge, beating up COVID-19 at the age of 79 or 90, maybe 105 years old. I like the coaching staff down there. I like Tom Brady. I like Gronk. I like the defense in the second year under Todd Bowles. On paper, that team, even if Mike Evans doesn't play for the first couple weeks because of a hamstring, hamstring injury. They got A.Q. Shipley on that team now.
Yeah.
That team on paper looks like they are going to be dominant. Now, they have to get past the New Orleans Saints in the NFC South. That's going to be a problem. I guess the Dallas Cowboys are going to be a problem in the NFC as well, says A.J. Hawk and most media members, because it moves the needle whenever you say that. But I do believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be in the Super Bowl that their city will be hosting, and I think that'll be the first time ever.
Yes.
First time ever. And in the AFC, I had the same exact conversation you had, pal. I don't know how they have 18 and 22 starters that they've locked down for at least the next 5 years, all of them. I don't know how the Kansas City Chiefs have gotten better this offseason. I don't know how they have figured out to keep everybody together. I don't know how they have kept their coaching staff together. It makes no sense what they've been doing, and they've been able to keep that competitive juice, so let's run this son of a bitch back. They got the face of the NFL right now, a quarterback. He seems determined to go and do more and accomplish more. They have the same amount of preparation time. The OTAs and everything like that getting canceled only helps them. Patrick Mahomes said he didn't learn how to read a defense until last year, midway through the season. That team seems to be hot. I don't know how you stop them. I guess you could potentially wish COVID on him.
Yes, like AJ.
Like AJ Hawk, I guess.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely not. I wasn't even thinking COVID, honestly, when I made that comment. If you could
Serious bad life
okay,
change.
yeah,
You weren't
yeah.
even thinking knee.
All right,
Jeez.
all right.
What's the last positive test we've had in the NFL? Like, that's not a thing. They're figured it out so far.
Oh, it's not a thing. Oh, wow.
Talking it into the world.
Truther.
I agree with you. I agree with you, by the way. It is not a thing. Let's just act like it's not a thing, and then it just won't be a thing.
Dana White says
That's
it's
just,
not.
We're talking football, right? We're not talking like
world. We're not talking
We've
world.
talked COVID enough. Like, we're talking strictly football right now.
And right now, if you have to predict the Super Bowl, which is what sports shows have to do, this is something that has to happen on the opening days. You have to predict who's going to win. You have to go strictly off of paper, and I think the Chiefs and the Bucks are a team that's going to make a run. Now, I'll be surprised if the Patriots stink, which a lot of people are saying they'll stink. I'll be very surprised by that. I think Lamar Jackson's going to have a great year. I think Marshall Yonda leaving is a big deal that hasn't been talked about enough in the offensive line. I think the Colts are going to be damn good for them to make a run. I just think the Chiefs are going to be quite a task, and they're going to be hot tonight. I think they win by a lot tonight, and I think they just keep that thing going. They got their eyes on the prize until something changes in a week or two when we redo this entire prediction thing.
Well, you mentioned the NFC East, and when you look at the NFC East, like, other than the Cowboys, well, I guess the Cowboys, there's still a lot up in the air as well, but the Eagles, like, we don't know. I feel like they are regressing. It just sounds, whatever's coming out of camp, it doesn't seem like they have everyone has a ton of confidence in them. The Giants, I don't know what the Giants are going to be. I think they're going to be improved. I don't know what that means. They only had 4 wins last year. In Washington, Dwayne Haskins, like, that's an uphill battle. They'll be improved too, but what does that mean? Is that 5 wins?
Washington will be very tough to win there. I mean, everything in the NFL is eliminating distractions. I'm not sure with COVID, with a name change, with exposés coming out every other week, I don't know how easy it'll be. New head coach who has been diagnosed with a form of cancer. I don't know how. That's a lot of obstacles, especially with a young quarterback who's just been named captain. That seems like that is a rebuild operation there, okay? As opposed to a reload. That feels like that is a rebuild operation. But I think they got, hey, the sun is brightest after the darkest dawn. I think that's going to happen in Washington. I think there's going to be a bright sun over there. I don't know if it'll be with a new owner, which I'm potentially hearing is potentially going to happen, by the way. Is Snyder going to get forced out? Well, I don't know. Some sources have been telling me that it is potentially going to happen. But I think the NFC East is wide open for the Cowboys if they can just figure out. And without them having, this guy.
Here you go.
I wonder if that'll help him out. We shall see. All right, so who you got winning the Super Bowl in yours? Dallas Cowboys, Kansas City Chiefs.
I have the Dallas Cowboys.
AJ! Who is this guy?
Whoa! So you said everything about the Kansas City Chiefs and finding it impossible to go ahead and have anybody beat them in the AFC, but you're like, you know what? Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Big Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, they'll slay the beast that is Kansas City Chiefs. That's what you're saying?
Yes, because I think the Super Bowl, it's a one-off. It's an outlier. It's not exactly what the full season, like whatever you did before that, obviously it's a new year. When you play that Super Bowl, it's whatever you do that night for those 60 minutes. And I feel like I just know how tough it may be for the Chiefs and the momentum they'll have. And they'll be a big favorite most likely if it's Chiefs-Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And I think the Cowboys find a way to take that underdog mentality and run with it.
You're going to be either loved or hated by people on the internet.
Hated.
I just want to let you know that.
Both. You should be both.
I have the Chiefs running it back, by the way, for anybody that's asking.
I mean, I wanted to do that, but I just know
that's
I know how tough it may be, and I just didn't want to. It's nothing, no slight against the Chiefs. I just know what they're going to have to do and what they have ahead of them.